The difference is the diameter of the actual tightening nut to adjust the ends in and out is different. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 7 threads before the nut here. Oh, great. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the nut is on 6 right there. That's this. So we're going to go ahead Okay, so we're making some pretty good progress here. I have not tightened any of this stuff up yet on the front, on the A-arms here. We're actually going to rebuild. There's only one of the Endlink pieces that really is stiff. It's this one. Probably don't need to rebuild this. However, you know, for 30 bucks, I'm this far into it already. So, you know, we're going to go ahead and replace these Endlinks, and then I'm gonna probably hold off. I will go ahead and put them on, but we won't tighten them up because I've got to come in and retighten the A-arms and the suspension, and then these will need to go on. But I'll go ahead and set them back in there so you can see in the video. But once we come back to tightening everything up, these will probably be off. So there's only one little tip here to kind of get these off on getting them set right, and I'll show you what I'm going to do. Okay, so we've got our old tie rod here. We've got our new tie rod ends, and actually these tie rods are shaped a little different. However, I went ahead and I installed one set on here, and the difference is the diameter of the actual tightening nut to adjust the ends in and out is different. It's 17 millimeter. The factory ones that are on there from the original will be 14 millimeter. And then to actually hold the tie rod to remove it, the inner locking piece here is going to be 13 millimeter. So when we install these, we are going to put anti-seize on there, and I will put a link for the direct kit below if you want to purchase these. I'm going to recommend these. That they look like good quality. These are the same parts on the A-arm. God, my brain just isn't working properly after I about got killed on a motorcycle this weekend. A lady threw a lit cigarette out of her vehicle moving 85 miles an hour down the interstate. That hit me, and then I about hit a baby deer. So I'm just not all with it. I'll put the link to that moto vlog down below. So the A-arm bushings, whatever they were, that same brand. So I'll go ahead and show you here what to do. The one thing that will make this a little bit easier to do is when you remove these, what you want to do is actually come in and count the threads on the actual Endlink here before you remove it, because it will give you a pretty good idea of where you're going to be when you set it on the motorcycle. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 7 threads before the nut here. And on this side we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 7 and 6, and we'll just remove one at a time and then put the other piece on. One of them's reverse threaded. And we're just going to use the anti-seize just in case these ever have to be removed again. And I've got to get some new anti-seize. That anti-seize is so old. And out here in the garage, it's starting to dry up a little bit. That anti-seize is probably 20 years old. But look how long it's lasted. So on this one here, I think we've got to go this way. So we're going to take the force of the wrench, and then we're going to come in with the other size and use the leverage of the table to loosen it, and this one is the one that is reverse threaded, I think. Oh, maybe not. Oh, great. Yeah, I did get it. I thought I rounded it out. More than likely, you're not going to be able to remove these if these have been on here for a while. So we're going to go to the vise and then turn it off. Okay, now that we can't get our piece off, we're gonna stick this in the vise. And then we're just gonna turn the end links. We're gonna turn the end links off. Of the unit. Yeah, you can tell these are the original ones. They did put a coating type on the threads of that. Now with our new end link, we're gonna run this nut, and this is the one that's reverse threaded, run it all the way up on our new attachment. And then we're gonna anti-seize this just a little bit. We don't need a whole lot on there. And then we're going to turn reverse threaded into the unit. Then once we've got it about where we want it, and this one needed 7 threads, we're going to run this nut. We're not going to tighten this nut. We're just going to run it down to the end link and then start counting our threads. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I need to come up a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and there's 7. We're not going to tighten our nut down because it's going to have to be tightened once it's on the ATV, and it'll pull the tires in or out, whatever we need to do. So there's one down. Let's do the other side. Okay, now we're just going to remove our last one here. Puppies they're on there pretty good. There we go. Sometimes tightening them actually helps loosening them. Yeah, dude, this one ain't gonna come off either. We're gonna have to go back to the vise. Okay, now we're just gonna do the same thing on this one because it's stuck. Then we're just gonna, you just need a little bit more leverage. Get this off of here. And this one was at 6 threads, not 7. So again, we're going to run our nut all the way up, anti-seize, not a whole lot, and then start threading our piece in. And this one, the piece with the castle nut is just regular thread, it's not reverse thread. Once we get this about where we want it, we're going to run our nut down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the nut is on 6 right there. Really easy to replace these. It's not very difficult at all. Okay, so when we go to install these, remember we have this steering piece on the 2007, 2008 model. I think 2009 they might have done away with this, but this piece actually goes on top, and then on the bottom side of the steering stem and the other adjuster piece, this will go on top. You'll have your metal plate, and then your Endlink will go underneath of it. So it looks like this on each side of the to the tire. So you need to make sure that if you took all this apart, that this goes back together the way it's supposed to. Okay, so what we have here is our adjuster piece, and it is going to go on top like so with the holes. And we're going to go ahead and run our bolt through. And the one on the clutch side is going to move the steering stem. And then what we have is our tie rods, which will go underneath like so. And then the nuts will go on to hold the tie rods. And then we'll move this adjuster back over like so. And this, without this all being tightened up, without this all being tightened up how it should be, it's going to be a little more difficult for me to adjust this. So we're going to go ahead put our castle nut on. You'll have to play around with the threads on this. So we're going to move our suspension piece here. We're going to run our bolt through. If you can see that, I don't know if you can. Yeah, I think you can see it. Then we're going to run our piece through here, put our nut on to hold everything together. And then we're going to adjust this. That as good as I can. Until we can get this Endlink in here. And then we'll just put our castle nut on. Okay, so that's pretty much it. This is really easy, and this thing's starting to come back together. I'm starting to feel a little bit better about getting this front end of this ATV back together. And Don't forget to check the playlist below. And just not up to par. I've got a couple buildings at work that I don't even know if my employer knows that's been infected, and I still ain't caught it. And I'm unvaccinated, and I have followed the guidelines to where I've worn a mask, I wash my hands, I watch everything I touch. And the big thing with me is I wear a mask, man. And with my health and everything, and me not going to a doctor for over 14 years because I don't have any health insurance, I have zero intention on taking the poke at all. It actually goes against my religion with ingredients that were used to develop it. And you kind of need to put your foot down on some things, so I'm going to put my foot down on that, and it might end up costing me my job. But hey, we might go full-time YouTube, baby. I'm just thinking about what all I can accomplish if I'm not working 14 hours a day and I get laid off, because you know, my body, my choice, baby. Okay, I'm out of here.